Hello, my name is Andy Krieger, and I'm the inventor of the Krieger method, a very simple 5-step program to make your foreign accent go away. I'd like to thank you for buying this DVD and showing that extra interest and initiative to try and make your life better. When you learn how to speak without your foreign accent, you will do a better job at work. You may have the opportunity to find a better job. You will learn how to speak so much better, to feel more confident about the way you speak. You will feel better about yourself. I know this is going to happen. Before I tell you what accent reduction is, I'd like to tell you how I discovered this method. Every part of the story, I hope, will help you understand what you are going to learn and do today. Of no importance to you, except when I was in high school, I was very active on student council. And I was making announcements at 3 o'clock on the PA, talking about dances and school activities. Often when I would walk down the hall at the end of the day, sometimes kids would come up to me and say, "Andy, where are you from?" I thought, what a silly question. Why would they ask where I'm from? As far as I knew, people from San Francisco and Vancouver, Canada, we all talk the same. Why would they think that I'm talking in a different way because they think I'm from somewhere strange? I never thought about it, but it will be an important part of the story. I was lucky enough to go back to San Francisco to go to Stanford University, where I studied history and geography, no accent reduction. I was ready to graduate, and a visitor came to Stanford to give a speech. His name was Sergeant Shriver. He was the brother-in-law of President Kennedy, who had been assassinated. I loved President Kennedy, and I was very excited to see someone who was a member of his family. So along with 2,000 other students, we filled the auditorium. I think there were about 2,000 of us. And I remember this man talking about the Peace Corps. He was the head of the Peace Corps. The Peace Corps is and was a government organization to get volunteers like me to go to poor parts of the world and be teachers for 2 years. As he spoke, I remember sitting in my seat and thinking, I have never heard anybody speak like this. I was totally enamored, in love with the way that this man spoke. I just could not believe how wonderful I felt listening to him say the words. In a while, I'm going to talk about President Obama, because I think most of us feel the same way when we hear President Obama speak. Sergeant Shriver spoke in exactly the same way. Here's what he said, and this is sort of the way that he spoke. He said, "You have a wonderful opportunity to do something with your life, to do something of value, to go to Africa, go to South Asia, go to South America and be a teacher for 2 years as a volunteer in small villages and large cities and help people who need your help. Do something that will make you feel good about yourself. Do something that will help others." And he went on and on. I remember, again, thinking so much of this speech that when it was over, I was, I believe, the first one outside, and I signed up to go to Ethiopia in Africa for 2 years. I didn't call my mother and father at home and say, "What do you think I should do?" I just went ahead and did it. all on the way that Sergeant Shriver was speaking. I was totally taken by the way he spoke. I didn't know then what it was. I have no idea what it was about the way he spoke, but it had a tremendous influence on me. I'm going to teach you today what I didn't know then. I'm going to teach you what it was about the way that this man spoke. Everything that I'm going to teach you has something to do with the way that Sergeant Shriver spoke. I went to Ethiopia, and I believe it was the second week. There was a knock on the door. One of my students appeared, a little boy by the name of Kadani. He said, "Mr. Andy, you are speaking too fast. We cannot understand you." So I realized then that I needed to speak more slowly. You've all received a 6-page sheet that accompanies this DVD, and I want you to look at number 1, which says, "Speak more slowly." So ever since many years ago, I have always tried to speak more slowly. I came back from Ethiopia, and I was a teacher in Vancouver, Canada for, I believe, 7 years, where I taught 7th grade and 10th grade, all subjects, also Canadian history. Late 1970s, I got married and moved to California. And in California, I had a job for 14 years where I was hiring extras for movies. I was an extra casting director. I hired extras for movies such as Pretty Woman. When Julia Roberts walks down Rodeo Drive, I hired all the extras who walked on the sidewalks and were the clerks who didn't speak, who waited on her in the stores. And I did Rocky IV and Star Trek The Next Generation and Back to the Future and Ghost and thousands of TV shows, movies, and commercials. That is of no importance to you except at lunchtime. I had the opportunity every day for 14 years to go to lunch to the Warner Brothers studio and watch movies being made. In the beginning, I was quite excited to have this opportunity, but after a while, I began to, I'll use the word, fall in love with the way that actors were speaking. I loved listening to the way actors were speaking as they made their movies. There was something very special. I didn't know what it was, just as I didn't know what Sergeant Shriver was doing. But I loved hearing these actors speak. I'm going to tell you today, later, what it is, the way that actors speak, that will allow you to copy the way they are speaking. I came back from Los Angeles in the early 90s, and I got a job downtown Vancouver working with actors. I got a job at their union office. Lots of movies are made in Vancouver, and I worked downtown in their office. Of no value to you until in 1997. I got a phone call from an American producer who was in Vancouver to make a movie. I'd worked with this man many times. My job was to work with him and help him do his movie in the best, easiest way. I answered the phone and he said, "Andy, we have a problem. We can't hire any of your actors because they're speaking Canadian." I said, "Robert, what are you talking about? What do you mean Canadian?" He said, "I can't tell you what it is, but they're doing something that is not pleasing to our ear." I think I remember him saying they're speaking too fast. Their words are clumped. Their words are clipped, and we're not comfortable. We don't like the way they talk. It's different. It's not Los Angeles talking. He said, "Andy, you speak American. You're from San Francisco. You speak American. You need to try and figure out how you're doing." So I thought, what is he asking me to do? I need to try and think about what I'm doing. How am I talking? So I thought right away, my father and I speak exactly the same way. My dad is from San Francisco, grew up there, was born there, and when I'm at his house and the phone rings and we answer the phone, nobody can tell the difference. So I realized that he and I must be speaking in exactly the same way. Still no relevance to you. So I sat with my father, and we realized that when we talked, we were putting our tongue and lips in one of 9 positions to push out air and make every word have a long vowel. People in San Francisco seemed to me, because I was doing it, we were talking in longer words. Some of you may know that there's a part of the United States called the South, Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, where they kind of talk like this. Now, I was actually born in North Carolina, and if I'd stay there, I'd be talking like this. They kind of talk with kind of long words, but it's different from San Francisco. But both parts of the country have very long words. It just happens that in San Francisco, we get into some kind of a position before we say a word. So I knew enough to realize that I was putting my mouth in one of 9 positions. When I said a word that began with a B, I didn't say best, I went best. I didn't say why, I went why. I didn't say fast, I went fast. That's the way I was talking. I was making my words longer. Again, no connection with you. So I thought, okay, there are 9 different positions. Every word that begins with an A, E, I, O, U, I go like this. Ask. Often. For the B, M, and P, I went like this. Best. Mention. Patiently. For the D, J, N, and T, I'm skipping a few. Let's try the D, J, N, and T. I put my tongue above my top teeth, like this. Doesn't. Time. Look how long that word is. Time. The F and V. Fast. Very. For the W was why. For the TH was that. Not that, but that. So I knew enough to go to my boss and say, Richard, I think I can teach these actors how to speak American. He said, go ahead. If you can do something to help them get work, sounds great, go ahead. So I began to teach. And in the second week, there was another knock on the door. And I looked over and I saw a lovely black man from West Africa at the door. I knew him. I said, yes, Francis. He said, Andy, want to come to your class? In a very heavy, strong accent. I remember standing there and thinking, no way. Absolutely no way. I don't know what to do with this man. I wouldn't know at all what to do. But it was a very cold day in Vancouver. It doesn't usually get this cold, but it was really cold. And I knew Francis had nothing to do this day. This was a 2-hour class. I thought, he has nothing better to do. I will let him sit in the class just to keep him warm. He was a lovely man. I had a seat. I said, Francis, have a seat. And what happened? He began to participate. And after a few days, his accent began to go away. So since that time, I have taught over 7,000 people like Francis, like actors in Vancouver. I had the opportunity to work with Jackie Chan for a very short time on his movie, The Forbidden Kingdom. I worked with Jackie for only a half an hour, believe it or not, but I did work with Li Bingbing and Crystal Fei Lu and the great Emperor Wang Deshun on this movie. I had a total of 3 weeks working time with these actors. If you rent the movie in English, I hope you will see how beautifully they are speaking, how much more clearly they are speaking, thanks to what I'm going to teach you today. So that's the story. That's how I learned how to teach you accent reduction, by simply showing you how to position your tongue and lips. With this DVD that you've just received, you've also received another DVD, and that shows me teaching another student who speaks your language. It could be that you are speaking Cantonese, Mandarin, Japanese, Korean, Russian, Spanish, Arabic, Farsi, Thai, Filipino, French, I think about 15 or 20 different languages. You have received another DVD that shows me teaching for about 2.5 hours. When I am focusing on explaining to the student, you will see my face. When I am reading the PowerPoint presentation, the camera will go to that PowerPoint. And when the student is speaking, the camera goes to that student. So the PowerPoint that I'm going to use today on my computer is the same PowerPoint that you are going to see on that second DVD. I hope that second DVD is really helpful to you. Right now I want you to say, maybe you freeze this DVD, put it on pause, and say the following words. My name is, and give your name, and I came to Canada or USA from, where did you come from, about how many years ago? Again, you will say, my name is Lou, and I came to Canada from Hong Kong about 5 years ago. If I have a bad accent, and I apologize, maybe I sound like this. My name is Lou, I came to Canada from Hong Kong about 5 years ago. It's a very bad accent. I don't mean to insult anybody, but that's the accent that I hear sometimes. At the end of the day, I'm going to show you how to do this. You're going to be able to do this. My name is Lou, and I came to Canada from Hong Kong about 5 years ago. I will then have you putting two words together. My name, open my mouth, is Lou, open my mouth, and I came to Canada from Hong Kong about 5 years ago. Notice how I'm using my hand. So you'll go from learning each position, saying one word at a time, to going to 2 words at a time. That's the way I'm going to teach you to speak. Try it again. I'll listen to you say it. I'll voice it, or I'll do it with my lips. Ready? Again, listen. My name is Lou. My name is your name. And I came to whatever the country is, Canada or US, from wherever it was about blah, blah years ago. Let's do it again. Ready? Good. I hope you can hear yourself, certainly hear your accent, and hopefully by the end of the day, by the end of your watching this DVD, you'll be able to do it with no accent. What is the K method? My method is called the Krieger or K method. I'm going to teach you, number one, to speak more slowly. Why? To give yourself time to put your tongue and lips in these 9 exact positions. There are actually 10, but we'll call them at the moment 9. All 26 letters of the alphabet are grouped into 9 positions. When you speak slowly and you get into position, it says you are able to speak every word with a long vowel, the magical part of this system. Speak slowly, get into position, and make every word have a long vowel. If you start working on this DVD and you start speaking in a totally different way, and somebody says to you, how did you do that? I want you to say to them, I learned how to make every word have a long vowel. Again, I call this magical because it is in fact magical. The next slide says there are 5 steps. Number 1 is to speak slowly. Number 2 is to get into position. Number 3 is to use your hand to help you take in air. You're going to hold your hand like this in front of you, maybe about 9 inches. Bring it back and flick it forward. Take in air, number 3. Number 4 is force out air. And number 5 is to make every word have a long vowel. It says there are 9 alphabet positions. At the bottom there's a picture of all the letters of the alphabet, 26. But in fact there are only 9 groups of letters. When you say a word that begins with A, E, I, O, U, you open your mouth like this. And they're all done the same way. Every time you say a word that begins with A, E, I, O, U, you open your mouth like this. Answer. Often. In. Up. When you do a word that begins with B, M, and P, you close your lips. Best. Mention. Patient. When you do a word that begins with C, K, and G, you go like this. Can. Kick. Gone. When you do the D, J, N, and T, words that begin with D, J, N, and T, you put your tongue up at 45 degrees. Duck. Justice. Nice. Time. Look how I'm flicking my hand. I'm going to teach you how to do that in just a minute. Hold my hand like this, bring it towards me, and flick it. Duck. Justice. Nice. Time. For the F and V, fast. Look at my teeth on my bottom lip. Very. For the H, open my mouth about 40%. Has. Hasn't. For the L, put my tongue under my top teeth. Long. Lucky. Lie. For the R, S, and Y, kind of a r, s, 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 y. Ran. Send. Yes. For the W, Y. And the other letter, called it the 10th, will be tip of tongue under here, this. Those are the 9 alphabet positions. Every time you say a word, you will need to get into position before you speak. The next slide shows a little baby crawling. Next to that picture is a little toddler trying to walk. Then there's another picture of a person walking and another picture of someone running. When you're a little baby, the only thing you do is crawl. It's very simple, very slow. Then you learn how to walk as a toddler. Then you learn how to walk like a normal person. And then you learn how to run. Crawling is very simple and very slow. I want you today to pretend like you're crawling. I want you to accept that you are crawling. I don't want you to try to run. And it has to do with when you say a word. If you say the word Y, I want you to do this. Make a little W, hold your hand in front of you at an angle. I'll show you more in a minute, and go like this. Y. Once you make the W, wait 1 second, and then move your hand. Look what I'm doing. Y. You cannot go Y. You can't go best. You can't go fast. You have to go Y. Best. Fast. You have to wait 1 second before you move your hand. If you try to do it too fast, you will not be successful. Every time you say a word, you must find the position, wait 1 second, and then move your hand. It says you can't run before you learn to crawl. Don't move your hand until you are in position. Don't move your hand until you're in position and then wait 1 second. Be content to do everything slowly. You will get faster as you learn how to do this. You actually will get to normal speed when you do everything that I teach you, but you will take less time in between words, and then it'll sound very normal. I'll explain that later. I'd like you to listen to President Kennedy, who was a great speaker, a great hero of mine. I love the way he talked. Here's what he said, or here's what it tells you to do. Listen to this speech by President Kennedy, speaking more slowly and with pauses. He uses positions. This man is speaking so beautifully that he must be putting his tongue and lips in positions to push out air and make every word have a long vowel, just as you are going to do today. He says, we observe today not a victory of party, but a celebration of freedom, symbolizing an end as well as a beginning. I'd like you to listen to President Kennedy. I don't care if you understand exactly what he says, but I'd like you to listen to the pauses and the length of every word.
We observe today not a victory of party, but a celebration of freedom, symbolizing an end as well as a beginning, signifying renewal as well as change. For I have sworn before you and Almighty God the same solemn oath.
President Kennedy speaking these beautiful, long, elegant, majestic words. When you speak, I want you to think of the beautiful way that this man said his words. If you YouTube President Kennedy's inaugural address, you will see him, after about 2 minutes, using his hand, tapping his hand. We observe today not a victory of party, but a celebration of freedom, symbolizing an end as well as a beginning. You'll see him tapping to the left of the microphone. As he's standing up, you can see him tapping these words. You will use your hand the whole time you are speaking. The next slide says, watch how your mouth produces the words. If you are going to use a mirror or a television camera or just watching this DVD on your computer, on your DVD player, I want you to be aware that if you are looking at yourself, you must be watching what your tongue and lips do the whole time. Don't look away, don't look up, just watch what you're doing to see what your lips, your tongue, and mouth are doing. I had the pleasure of teaching in the Philippines in 2004. I think I was there for 3 months. And I taught a company that had 150 employees. And at that time, I was making my first DVD. And I asked one of these lovely students to give a comment about her learning. And here's what she said. She said, I'm more confident because I know that each word I'm saying can be clearly understood. She said, I'm more confident now. I'm more confident because I know that each word I'm saying can be clearly understood. I want you to listen to this young lady speak.
I'm more confident because I know that each word I'm saying can be clearly understood.
Every word has a long vowel. I'm more confident because I know that each word I'm saying can be clearly understood. I'm more confident because, now she missed because. Every word is perfect except the word because. She didn't say because, she said because. I'm more confident because I know that each word I'm saying can be clearly understood. I want you to listen and see if you can hear her accent on the word because. When we say the word because, if you just go like this, open your mouth a little and go because, because, because. I think it's about this long. What happens if I close my lips and I go because? I'm more confident because I know that each word I'm saying can be clearly understood. Listen to the short version of the word because.
I'm more confident because I know that each word I'm saying can be clearly understood.
Every time you miss a position, we will hear your accent. If you make every position, we won't hear your accent. The next slide shows people talking with each other. You need to practice daily with a trusted friend or family member or co-worker. I recommend that you find somebody at home. When you get off this DVD today and you talk to someone, you say, the instructor told me that I must speak to you every day slowly. You need to practice every day for 2 minutes. That's all I ask. 2 minutes with somebody who you trust, who will not judge you, who will not be negative, but will support you. If you practice every day for a while at home, you then go to work. Maybe after the first week or even the next day. You find somebody at work who you feel comfortable with, who you feel comfortable talking to. And you say, when we have coffee, may I please speak to you in my new way? I want to try and practice speaking more clearly every day before I start talking to our customer, before I start talking to our client. So if you practice at home and you go to work and feel comfortable speaking to someone, then perhaps you might say, you know what, I can answer this phone and start speaking this new way to this customer. I know I can do it. I feel very comfortable doing it, and I know you will be successful. I want you to look at page 5 of the sheet that I sent you, and at the top of page 5 it says, look at this key, K-E-Y. A key, as you know, opens a door. I want this key to open information for you. The key has about 15 or 20 different things that you can do every day. Think about the 5 main steps. Think about the other additional helpers. Start talking to someone at work. Start talking to a stranger. Just do it. Just go into a store and order something in this new way. If you're standing at the bus stop and you feel comfortable, start talking to someone in this new way. In fact, say to your best friend, I'm going to always speak to you in this new way. Use the key every day to help you study, think about the material you have learned up till now. So how do I learn to speak without an accent? It says we all speak too fast. In your own language, if it's Mandarin, Cantonese, Spanish, Russian, Japanese, Korean, all of you speak your own language so fast. When you speak English, you also speak fast. There is no time in any of your languages or when you speak English that you would ever think about putting your tongue or lips in some kind of position. You just don't do it. This is a weird thing to say, but my feeling is that only people in San Francisco and Los Angeles happen to use their mouth to push out air to make every word have a long vowel. That's the way we speak. So you need to speak this new way. I want you to take a minute and I want you to introduce yourself to me in your own native language. I want you to say in Cantonese or Mandarin or Spanish or Japanese or Korean or whatever the language is. My name is whatever your name is, and I came to my country from wherever about how many years ago. Do it in Mandarin or Cantonese or whatever right now. Do it. Whatever the language is, I'm sure you spoke so fast and you did not at any time think about putting your tongue or lips in some kind of position. You just didn't do it. There's a picture of a man shooting a submachine gun. Some of you can speak just as fast as that submachine gun. You have to change the way you're speaking. You have to speak much more slowly. To show you how to speak by using these positions, I want to teach you how to speak 3 words of French. If I say to you, je parle français, what did I say? Je parle français. You may have heard an A sound, but I don't think you understood anything else. In fact, I said, je parle français. Je means I. Parle, like parliament, means speak, and français means French. So if I do it slowly, je parle français. I want you to do that with me. Open your mouth about this much and go, don't do anything with your lips. Je, close your lips. Look how relaxed my lips are. Parle français. Do it. Tap your hand. Ready? Je, close your lips. Parle français. Let's do it together. Again, open your mouth a little. Ready? Je parle français. You just said it. You said 3 words in French, I'm sure very beautifully, very clearly. If you said it fast, je parle français, wouldn't be as clear at all. I wouldn't understand. You wouldn't understand anything that I've said. So you need, just like you've learned how to speak 3 words of French, how do we say I speak French in English? Here's what you do. You don't say I speak French. You go like this. Open your mouth to 60%. I, almost close your mouth. Speak, make an F. French. Let's do it together. Open your mouth. I speak French. Look how much trouble and effort it was to say that. You didn't say, I speak French. You went, I speak French. That took a lot of time to say those 3 words because you needed to open your mouth. I speak French. And your hand needed to move. It takes time to move the hand. Remember I said you can't move your hand until you wait 1 second. That also takes time. Speaking this way is like singing. It's like music. In music, every note is exact. There are 8 basic notes. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Every note must be exact in order for the song to be perfect. If you go to a karaoke bar and you hear someone singing, you know it's beautiful, it's perfect. You hear a song on a radio, you know it's perfect because every note is perfect. If you go to a karaoke bar and Someone doesn't know how to sing, you almost want to cover your ears. So every note must be perfect when someone sings. Every position that you make, think of it as a note, must be perfect. So, when you speak, you must be sure that every word has an exact position, and you will have no accent. It says in music there are rests. Dum, bum, 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 bum. There are pauses in between those notes. In speaking, there are pauses after each word or every two words. When I saw what happened, I laughed. When I saw what happened, I laughed. Lots of pauses in between words. Number one, you must speak more slowly. Your ESL teacher may have said to you, don't speak slow, speak fast. Make sure that you get every word said, because if you try to speak more slowly, someone will interrupt you. Don't listen to your ESL teacher. You need to speak more slowly. It is so, so important. I may time myself today using a stopwatch. If I hold the stopwatch and time myself, not how fast I can say a sentence, but how slowly I can speak. How slowly I can speak. When you speak more slowly, you give yourself time to put your tongue and lips in the exact digital position. That's number two. Number one is to speak more slowly. Number two is to give yourself time to put your tongue and lips in the exact digital position. Digital means exact. I'm looking at a computer. I'm looking at a camera. Both are digital. My watch, the time is probably not exactly the same as the computer because it's not digital. Every position that I show you, like the B, here's the B. Best. If you go like this, no good. Go like this. Best. No good. Go like this. Best. If you open your mouth at the last minute, best. No good. You must keep it together and go best. When you do Y, you can't go Y. You have to go, no. Look how relaxed I am. Y. If I do fast, can I do this? No. Must be very relaxed. Top teeth on bottom lip. Fast. Fast. Every position must be digital. Here's the A, E, I, O, U. Here's the D. Here's the L. Here's the R. Here's the S. Here's the Y. Every position must be perfect. Can't be slightly or almost, it must be exact. Digital means exact. You need to hold the positions. Some of these positions are very hard, like this. That's hard. How long can you hold this? If you're a Filipino, you have a lot of trouble, or a Hindi, doing this. Even putting the D up there is hard. Putting the B together is hard. So once you decide to say a word, try to hold the word, hold the position. Wait. Better. Better. Look how relaxed my lips are. Faster. Faster. Don't go fast. Go fast. Your mouth should be relaxed the whole time. Take your hand and run your hands over your face for a minute. Totally, totally relax. I'd like you to take your hand, make it very tense. Can you do that? Very tense. Oh, that hurts. Now just relax. I want you to hold your hand in front of you about, I don't know, is that a foot? I want it to be at 45 degrees, like this. I want you to bring it back, and that's what you're going to do in just a few minutes. But your hand should be relaxed the whole time. So you bring it back, a little above my ear, and you whack it. You whack it. Your hand snaps. Look. Snap. Snap. Talk more about the hand in a minute. So number 1 was to speak more slowly. Number 2 is to get into position. Number 3, well, before I do that, let's see what it says here. Every word requires that you put your tongue and lips in an exact position before you say even one word. So if I say the word why, I have to do this. Why? If I say the word 5, I do this. 5. If I say the word mention, I do this. Mention. As. As. Every word requires that you put your tongue and lips in an exact position before you say even one word. It's what accent reduction is. You don't just talk. You make sure that you're in some position and you say a word. In a little while I'm going to show you how to say 2 words, but you'll start off by saying 1. I want to show you 3 examples. I picked 3 different letters of the alphabet, 3 groups of letters, and I want to show you what you do to say a word that begins with those letters. The first example is the B, M, and P. Every time for the rest of your life, when you say a word that begins with B, M, or P, you close your lips. Here are the words. Best, mention, patient. Look how long the words are. Best, mention, patient. How long the words are. With those 3 words, there will now be a sentence. And here's the sentence. Banks make huge profits. Do it again. Banks make huge profits. Every word was long. I had a position for every word. I will teach you how to say 1 word at a time, and then I will show you how to put 2 words together. Every sentence has a clump, or a way to put the words together. Here's the way this sentence is said. Banks make huge profits. Do it again. Look at my lips. Banks make huge profits. I went from 1 word, banks make huge profits. Notice how I didn't move my hand until I was in position, plus waiting 1 second. What's the next example? Words that begin with F and V. Every time for the rest of your life. When you say a word that begins with F and V, F or V, you put your top teeth on your bottom lip. It says, top teeth on bottom lip, find the exact comfortable position. Don't do this, but how about this? Look how relaxed my bottom lip is. Fast. Very. Is it fast? Very? No. I waited. Relax. Fast. Very. Look how my hand sort of stays out there. Fast. Like the word is going off my hand. I'll explain more of that in just a few minutes. Here's the sentence. Open my mouth for I. Look what I do for I. My mouth is open 60%. I can. Close my lips for B. B, make a V. Very fast. I'll do it again. Look. I can be very fast. We put these together. I can be very fast. I did it. Sounded very normal. Open mouth. I can be very fast. Last example, the W. It says make a round kissing position. Every time you say a word that begins with a W, you want to do this. I could put a little straw in here. Make a little hole. When I do the W, we'll put the straw in there. Want. Why. Word. Work. Look how I made the W first. Look. Want. Why. Word. Work. Here's the sentence. One word at a time. When, and then look at that N. I'll show you how to make that N. When. Will. My tongue went behind my top teeth. Will. Here's we. We. Open mouth. Ever. Remember for a word that begins with a vowel, open my mouth. Ever. Make a W. Win. When I did the N, I went n. Win. Here's the second line. When will we ever win? Here's the third line. When will we ever win? I put three words together. That is very, very hard. And I actually don't recommend that you try to speak three words. Try to avoid, at least in the beginning, speaking three words. Only speak one or two words at a time. Let's try it again. When will we ever win? If it sounds like that, congratulations. If it doesn't, and you had trouble, especially with the ever, don't worry about it. Two words will work. How would I do it? Only two words? When will we ever win? Or when will we ever win? Those were three examples. Remember, every time you say a word, you must be in some position before you say that word. We're going through the 5 steps. Number 1 was to speak more slowly. Number 2, that gives you time to get into one of the 9 or 10 positions. Whatever they are. Number 3, take in air. So as your hand should be out in front about this much, at an angle. You can't see it, but my elbow is at an angle. My hand is in front of me at 45 degrees. It's not straight up. It's not like this. It's at an angle, 45 degrees, like that. 45 is so important. So as you bring your hand up, it's very gentle. You can't hear it. You hardly feel it. Air comes in. You're taking in air. That's number 3. Number 4, there's a picture of a cloud blowing out air. So it says, number 4, force out air on each word to hit the beginning of each word. So here's what it does. Fast. Fast. Air is coming out. Air came in. Air goes out. Isn't this weird? Speaking by taking in air and forcing out air, it's very weird. Number 5, it says, make every word have a long vowel. You tell that special someone in your life, I am speaking without my accent because I learned how to make every word have a long vowel. Amazing. It says here the magic of the system. It is in fact magic. You imagine you're going to be speaking in a short time without your accent. That's magic. I'm happy that I can teach it to you. I'm happy that I grew up in San Francisco. I'm happy that my father talks like I do. I'm happy that that boy in Ethiopia told me to speak more slowly. I'm happy that that American producer told me he didn't want to listen to Canadians. I'm happy that Francis appeared at the door. All those things came together to allow me to teach you, and it's a wonderful job to have. It says, last part, every word has a vowel sound. You're going to make that vowel long. Here are the first words we're going to work on. The words are, I'm going to say them slowly. Canada, can, answer. Often, basically, time. Has, face, lunch. Yes, why, this. I'll say them again. Canada, can. Answer, often. Basically, time. Has. Face. Lunch. Yes. Why? This. If I were teaching you in a private class, I would have you do the following. Before you say Canada, open your mouth and go. Open 10%, 15%. Canada. Open your mouth, same position for can. Can. Open your mouth. Can. For answer, you have to open your mouth much more. Look, about 60%. Answer. Notice I only say the word when my hand hits the 45-degree position. Answer. Answer. Always the same place. Look, right there. Open. Answer. So I start here and I go, only say the word, there. Answer. Next word. Look at my mouth. Open to 60%. Often. Often. How about basically? Look what I do. Basically. Basically. For time, tip of my tongue goes above my teeth at 45 degrees. Up there. My mouth is almost closed. No, just a little. Not this, but almost closed. Time. Remember we said number 5, every word has to have a long vowel. Make sure you have a long vowel. Time. Time. Next word. 40% open. Has. Has. Do it again. Has. How about face? Face. Make the F. Face. Do I go face? No, I wait till my hand gets back here. Look right here. Face. Face. How about lunch? Mouth is almost closed, only open 5%. Lunch. Lunch. How about yes? Yes. Do it again. Yes. How about why? Why? Do it again. Make your W. Wait. Wait that 1 second. Why? How about this? This. This. Let's do them again. Ready for Canada? Canada. Ready for can? Can. Ready for answer? Open much more. Ready? Answer. Ready for often? Open your mouth. Often. How about basically? Close your lips. Basically. Do it again. Basically. Ready for time? T-I-M-E. Ready? Time. Time. The long vowel makes this happen. Here's has. Open your mouth for has. Ready? Has. You feel whatever 40% is. Has. Here's 100. Here's 60. Here's 40. Has. Ready for face. Face. If I do this, no good. So just on the top of my lip, for me. Everybody's different. Face. Ready for lunch. Tongue behind the top teeth. Ready? Relax. Lunch. Do it again. Lunch. How about yes? Yes. Do it again. Yes. How about Y? Make a little W. Y. Y. Make a TH. This. Ready? This. Look how slowly I said it. This. Slower is better. One more time. This. Don't let your bottom lip touch your tongue. This. No. A little separation. This. You've done a wonderful job. You've said all those words, I hope clearly. Why don't you try it one more time? How can you do this? If you did it fast, say it after me. Canada can answer. Old way, ready? Canada can answer. Often, basically, time. Do it. Has faced lunch. Yes, why this? If you listen to yourself, even if you can't hear your accent, which I know you can, you know that you never made any position to say these words. All of a sudden, you need to make positions. Good job. It says here, like fire out of a dragon's mouth. When you say each word, feel like the word is coming out of your mouth, like fire coming out of a dragon's mouth, or like a bullet shooting out of a gun. Take your hand, go like this. Cup it like this and just go, shoo, shoo, fire, shoo, shoo. So every time you say a word, so you can flick your hand. What am I doing here? Hold it like this and just flick it. Turn it back and wait, flick it. Your hand should snap to express that power. Why doesn't he try harder? Let's do it again. Why? Why? Tongue up there for doesn't. Doesn't he try harder? Doesn't matter what the words are, just to see what you're doing to flick your hand. Part 3 is called the additional helpers. Part 2 covered the 5 main steps. This is now Part 3, the additional helpers. I'm going to show you more details about the hand. I'm going to show you how to say every word slowly. I'm going to show you that every word you say is like this piece of wood, this wedge. Every word is like this tennis ball. I'm going to show you how to speak 1, 2, or 3 words only at a time. Number 11, to tell you that speaking like this is called speaking in clumps, C-L-U-M-P-S. Number 12, I will show you what it means to speak with some kind of a look on your face contemplatively. Number 13 is to get you to understand how to make your words have intonation, high and low and volume. But before we go on, here's what it says, number 14. Wait in position. Then move your hand up. Hold the position, then snap your hand forward and say the word. That's how it works. Number 6, the hand position. It says it starts out exaggerated. Ultimately, we make it a minimal effect. So every time you say a word, you're going to do this. Sa, sa. Later, you might just be sitting at your chair and just kind of tapping, very, very gentle. You might be standing up let your hand drop to just down by your leg, and then just kind of tap your hand very gently. We don't know why something like this happens. We need to send the fax to the customer. We need to send the fax to the customer, whatever it is. So exaggerated now, more minimal, hardly noticeable later. It's all in flicking of the wrist. What's flicking? It's not this. It's flicking. Flick. Look at my wrist. Snap. Flick. Slap. You can slap. How about if we do this? Slap. Slap. If I hold my hand at 45 degrees, slap. Can't see it, but it's slapping. Take the hand away, slap. So kind of this part of my hand is slapping. How do you slap somebody? Bad boy. Bad. Bad. Forward, bad. Bad. Or it could be tapping. Tap. This finger is a little lower. Tap. How do we tap? Let's see. Tap. Tap. Try it. Tap. You also might do this. Put your hand up straight, have the finger pointing forward, and shoot it by going like this. Shoot it. So as I go forward, see if I can put it in my own eye, or towards my face. Ready? Choo. Choo. Whatever you can do to push the word forward. That's what you have to do. But here's the important part. You can try tapping each word with the index finger lower. We did that, kind of tap. Tap. But you have to raise you can't do just your wrist. You have to bring your elbow up and then tap. Elbow up and tap. Elbow up and tap. Look what I'm doing. Up, raise it above your head. Raise it up. So it's kind of going back at 45 degrees. Not up like this, but back. Hold it at 45, bring it back at 45, and tap. Or slap, whatever works for you. But here's the very important part. Do not move your hand until you're in position, and then wait another second. Wait, wait. Later you won't have to wait as long, but for now you need to wait. 2 more waits. Wait, wait, wait 1 second. I wrote, I think, wait 7 times, which means before you move your hand, you must be in position and wait 1 second. That's all I ask you to do. Why? Best. After a while, obviously, you won't have to wait as long, but for now, you need to wait. Don't move your hand until you are in position and relaxed. Really simple. Don't move your hand until you've made the position, wait 1 second, and then move the hand up. The reason I want you to do that is because I want you to be relaxed the whole time. When you are relaxed, you're going to make a perfect position. Your hand will be relaxed. You will not put pressure on yourself to do this fast. A baby doesn't run. A baby crawls. Take your time. More on your hand. Before you move your hand, pause. Lower your hand like you are sinking down, falling asleep on a cloud. What if you hold your hand like this? Just kind of do this. Just relax. So before you do it, if you're going to go like this, I'm going to say the word why. If I do this. Why? How about best? Look what I'm doing. Just kind of relax. Best. Lower your hand like you are sinking down, falling asleep on a cloud. Just relax before you move your hand. Or sinking into quicksand. What's quicksand? You just kind of sink down into the earth. This will give you a chance to relax. Do all of this after you've gotten into the exact position. Don't say a word until you've made the position. Relax your hand, wait it 1 second, then bring your hand up, and then say the word. Only when your hand is there. Don't say the word no, 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 not now, only when you're back here. So if I say why, I don't go why, I go why. Do it again, look. Why. Look, every time the word is said, only when my hand is here. Why. What? No. Why. It says hand at 45 degrees. Your hand is held out in front of you at an angle of 45 degrees. Your fingers should be apart. Don't have your fingers ever together. Have them apart and relax. Your hand should be cupped. Look at my hand, it's kind of rounded. Shouldn't ever be like this. Should be relaxed. The index finger should be slightly below. Don't force it down. Just let it hang naturally. It'll hang a little below the others. Be relaxed the whole time. Bring your hand back at 45 degrees and then snap it forward. Snap it forward. Snap. That's the only time you say the word, when your hand is there. Even more about the hand. Is the hand important? It is so important. It's like, excuse me, it's like slapping. Don't hurt yourself. It's like slapping, or think of it as tapping with the tips of your fingers. Tap, tap, tap. Whatever works for you, tap, tap. Or you can have your hand more vertical. Remember we talked about this? With your index finger pointing straight ahead. Jackie Chan showed me this, how you can pretend like you're poking somebody's eye out. No, he didn't. Just pretending. Sa. Look at my finger. It's pointing. And I really, how about this? Slow motion. I have the feeling that that finger is pointing towards where my hand is going. Bring it back and flick it forward. Feel like you are going to poke some bad guy's eyes out with power. Sa. Everything is power. When you start at 45 degrees and you go back, you should also end up in exactly the same place. Sa. You start here and you end there. You don't say the word until you are there. Remember to snap your wrist. Your hand cannot be locked. You cannot do that. That wrist must. But you don't do this. This is no good. It doesn't work. Your whole elbow must move. Sa. Exaggerated now and less later and in real life. Just relax and try to figure out how that hand snaps. Try this. Sa. Look at how my elbow goes up. Sa. Sa. How about tapping? Tap. Always the same place. Tap. Okay? Why do you need to wait, it says? When you wait before you move your hand, you give yourself time to relax and think about what you have to do with your tongue or lips. So if I say, he is, that's easy. He is. But I have to go, he does. I've got to get that D up there. I have to think about how I make a D. So I have to go, he does. He does. So you need to be relaxed and wait so you can think about what you have to do to make, say, the second word. Or where's your mouth for the first word? What do you have to do for the second word? This all takes time And the more relaxed you are, and if you wait, you'll give yourself time to make these decisions. Think about what you have to do. You must wait at least 1 second before you move your hand to make this work. Relax your hand for at least 1 long second. We'll finally finish the hand, except when you finish, your hand should not be like this, but totally relaxed. And you should have, it says when you finish each word, let the word flow from E.T.'s fingers. Remember the movie E.T.? About the little monster from outer space who came to visit this little boy. He had very long fingers. I want you to feel as you say a word that the word goes off your hand. If you kind of stop, it's not going to work. You need to have the word go off your hand, like E.T.'s long fingers. So when you speak, you need to feel that the word is going off your hand. Have that feeling of extension, I guess is a good word. It must go off. Yes. Look how long. If I go like this? No. Sa. Y. Let's do Y. Ready? Y. Don't go Y. Go Y. Let the word go off your hand. One last thing about the hand. I thought we were finished, but we're not. It's so important. Your hand should be totally relaxed, motionless in front of you. No, relaxed. At 45 degrees. What is 45? There's 90, there's 0, there's 45. Be thinking, am I in position? Whatever it is. Is my mouth and hand relaxed? Am I holding the position? Only now can I move my hand. Once you've satisfied all these requirements, then you move your hand, but you wait 1 second before you move your hand. You wait 1 second before you move your hand. The next slide says, say each word slowly. Best to speak each individual word slowly. Beginning in the exact position allows you to say each word, each individual word, slowly. This is what creates the elegance and power of each word. Some of you may be familiar with an American TV show. It's called CSI Miami. The star is a red-headed actor who's made a lot of money over the years by saying his words more slowly. If you YouTube David Caruso, C-A-R-U-S-O, you'll hear David talking like this. I think this woman has been poisoned. I want you to take the body back to the morgue. And I want you to check under her fingernails because I think you'll find some residue of poison. This man has made a lot of money by saying his words individually more slowly. When you speak, you need to say every word slowly. See how that happens. When I was in Hong Kong in 2008, I was in Hong Kong working for HSBC Bank on November 4th, Election Day in the United States. And so many people came up to me and said, "Congratulations, Andy. We are so happy for you that you now have a new president, Obama." Nobody ever would have said that to me about Bush. There was something about Obama that made us love this man, trust this man, and feel good about this man I wonder whether the way he speaks, I think it does, has anything to do with it. Somebody sent me some information that I think is very valuable. When President Obama speaks, somebody's added up the number of words that he says in a given word, a given time, in a minute, actually. And that the number of words in 1 minute for Obama is about 94 words a minute. Somebody also said that the Prime Minister of Canada, Stephen Harper, speaks 165 words a minute. The world doesn't love or care very much about Prime Minister Harper. I'm sure he's a wonderful man, but nobody calls him a great speaker because he's speaking much faster. His words are said individually much faster. When Obama says it's time for change, no longer can we have the kind of government that we had before. We need to change the way the government does its business. We want to trust people again. Again. Every word is said so slowly. So when you talk, try and say every word slowly. If you just speak more slowly, you might speak like this. Why doesn't he find his friend? I spoke slowly, but the words were not said slowly individually. So why doesn't he find his friend? Becomes, why doesn't he find his friend, whatever the words are. Every word that you say today is like this piece of wood. This is called a wedge. A wedge is a stick that is large on this side and goes to nothing here. So when you say a word, you need to hit, smash the beginning of every word. That's all you're going to focus on. Not the middle, not the end, only the beginning. When you apply force, you will push the word, you will give it power to push the word to have a long vowel. In this kind of speaking, you have no syllables. In this language of accent reduction, there are no syllables. In American English, there are no syllables. We don't say photograph. Photograph, that's 3 syllables. We go photograph. Cautious becomes cautious. So think of every word as a wedge. Focus only on the beginning position and whack the word. Every word that you say is like a tennis ball going over the net. What happens? You hit the ball and it travels a long distance. Then it's hit back to you, then you hit it again. The analogy is that when you say a word, you're going to say the word, you're going to take in air, and say the word again. You say the word, take in air, say the word, take in air, say the word. The length that this tennis ball travels is exactly the same as the length, the word that you say, or 2 words that you say, travel. Why don't we try to fix the problem? Why don't we try to fix the problem? This is not badminton. I didn't show you a badminton shuttlecock. I showed you a tennis ball because everything is slow and it takes a long period of time to hit a tennis ball and get the ball back, to say a word and take in air. I hope you can see the connection. Today I want you to realize that you're going to speak 1, 2, or 3 words at a time. This is called speaking in clumps. You want to limit your speaking to only 1 or 2 words at a time. Never more than 3, hardly even 3. Most of the day we'll be speaking 1 and 2 words at a time. This is called speaking in clumps. Look what happens if I do this sentence. Here's the sentence. If I knew why you did that. If I knew why you did that. If accent, if I knew why you did that, becomes if I knew why you did that. What did I do? I opened my mouth to different positions. For if, I went like this. If, for I, same position. I, for knew, that's actually a silent K, so the N is up there. Knew. Why. You. My tongue goes up behind my teeth for did. I can see above my teeth. Did. That. That's one word at a time. One more time. If I knew why you did that, becomes, if we put a couple of words together, becomes this. If I knew why you did that. I want to tell you about that sentence we just did. When you put words together in clumps, the first word of a clump has only a very short length, about 10%. The second is much longer, about 80%. The ratio is 20-80. Listen to how short I is and how short you is. Listen to how long knew is and how long did is. How about if I do it not the right way? If I make all the words equal. Listen. If I knew why you did that. It's not the way we speak. So we're going to make that first word, when we put two words together, much shorter. If I knew why you did that. What's the next slide say? Again, the ratio is 10-90 or 20-80. The first word is very much shorter. The second word is much longer. Come back to that in just a minute. Let's try the third line. What happens, could we try to put 3 words together? So what's going to be? Open mouth. If I knew why you did that. That's the way I would say that sentence. If I knew why you did that. Can you do it? I don't care if you do. If you don't get those 3 words at the end correct, I don't care. I'd rather have you do only 2. Let's do it again. Ready? If I knew. I knew. Why? Why you did that. You did that. Let's try it together. I won't say anything. Let's do it together. Ready? If I knew why you did that. You will figure out how to clump your words, I promise you. Everybody who's done this figures out, you just start speaking 1 or 2 words, and then once in a while you can put 3 together. How about, here's a sentence. We know why it happened. Let's try that. We know why it happened. Happened was much longer than it, and know was much longer than we. Listen again. We know why it happened. How about it couldn't be right. Let's try that. It couldn't be right. Right was much longer, and couldn't was much more than it. Let's do it again. It couldn't be right. He will try and speak 1 or 2 words at a time. Let's try that. 1 word at a time would be he will try and speak 1 word or 2 at a time. Putting it together becomes he will try and speak 1 or 2 words at a time. Wow, at the end I did at a time. How many words? 3. But it says here, atta sounds like one word. Atta, A-T-A. So it's okay to put those 3 words together. So you'll clump. All day I'll teach you how to clump. If you use a thoughtful facial expression like this, you will be able to disguise that you're in position. If I go like this, why, them, finish, better, patient. Why, them, finish, better, patient. It's going to attract attention. But if I go like this, why, look at my squinting, them, finish, better, patient. If I have a look on my face, so no look, better, patient, it's hard to prepare yourself to say the words. So this is called speaking contemplatively. You give yourself a thoughtful look so you can be in position to say the words. Let's try it. Let's do why. Get your face ready. How about, let's do it old way. Why? Say it. Why? Better. Ready? Better. Finish. Finish. Patient. Better. Better. Patient. Patient. Let's try the new way. Ready? Why? Ready? Why? Look at my hand. Made that word so long. Ready? Why? How about them? Make it TH. Them. How about finish? Finish. How about better? Look. Better. Very thoughtful. Better. How about patient? Patient. Let's do it again. Ready for why? Why? Listen to what I did. Was it why? No. Why? I got intonation. How about them? Them. How about finish? Finish. How about better? Better. Patient. So when you use a thoughtful facial expression, making a face for each word before speaking, gives you time to establish your thought, pretend like you're thinking of what you're going to say. One of the reasons we love Obama is because it looks like he's thinking before he speaks. We need to have a total change in the way we're doing our government, whatever it is. All right, so use your face. Intonation. If you want to speak without your accent, that's wonderful. And once you accomplish that, you need to really try to get something called intonation, which is making your voice go high, high. Instead of speaking monotone, you need to make your voice go up in a lovely high way. Let's try these words. Basically, love, famous, yes. Let's do it old way. Basically, love, famous, yes. Do it again. Basically, love. Love, famous, famous, yes. But if I go like this, basically, love, famous, yes. Look how excited my face got. How about if I go like this? Put your hands like this, kind of both up like this. Relax. How about basically? Basically, how about love? Love. How do you express love? Ready? Put your tongue behind your top teeth. Push hard. Love. How about famous? Famous. How about yes? Yes. So there's a picture here of a man on a diving board. That diving board, if you've ever been on a diving board and you go into the pool, what happens? You put your toes around the edge of the board and you push off into the water. That's a lot of weight to push into the water. Well, when you say a word, you need to push every word out of your mouth, just like a man going into the pool. If you look on this sheet that I sent you, there's a picture of a man on a diving board. So you can push off to make these words powerful. That'll give you intonation. Instead of speaking monotone, you will have words that have intonation. There's a picture again of the little boy crawling. I hope you have decided that you can wait before you say a word. Wait 1 second, position, wait, say the word. So important to find the position, then wait. Hold the position. Then move your hand up, still holding the position. Bring your hand down and say the word only when your hand is back at 45 degrees. Wait that 1 second.